Hey guys, it's Joe, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use a tremolo plugin in Logic. Now tremolo is quite a standard modulation effect, but it does have quite a lot of uses, and I actually find the one in Logic's really quite good, so I'll show you how to use it. So first of all, of course, we want to pull up the tremolo, and we just go into modulation down here, and it's right at the bottom. And then we're met with this screen. So I'm just going to play it on some chords that I've got going on to demonstrate how it works, so it'll become quite obvious. So here are the chords. So there's a couple of different things going on here. To simplify things for now, I'm just going to reduce the phase to 0, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So let's have another quick listen. So what this is doing is actually modulating the amplitude of the incoming signal, which is why you can hear it's getting essentially louder and then quieter and louder and quieter continuously throughout. So we have a few parameters here which are really controlling the sound, but everything, to be honest, is very important to how to shape the sound in this. So first of all, we have the rate, which is how quickly it's doing it. We can either make it quicker or slower. You can make it free as well. I prefer tempo sync, but everyone has their own preference. Then there's depth, which is essentially how much of it we're using. So you can hear it's become a lot gentler. And then it's off. And then we have smoothing, and again that'd be quite obvious when we change it. You can hear it's becoming much more sudden, the changes. And then eventually it basically becomes an on-off type sequence. So now it's looking like a square wave, whereas before it was looking like a sine wave. So when the smoothing's on 100, it's more of a continuous flow, whereas the further down to 0 we go, the more sudden and drastic it becomes. Far more obvious it is as well. Next we have the offset, and this is actually changing where the peaks happen. So if you see I move it, these are being shifted, so it's going to be slightly out of time with our song, essentially. But that can be really quite good because it can add a bit of extra rhythm to everything, and so that everything's not happening at once. I tend to keep it on 0, but I'll show you a demonstration in a minute where it's actually quite good on like 10 and 20. Next we have symmetry, and again you'll see the LFOs here changing when I change this. But if we hit play, you'll hear the difference it's making. So you can hear it's now more of it's fading in a lot longer and then cutting out much quicker. And then if we go the opposite way, we've got a very sudden attack on it, and then it's fading out very slowly. So again, it depends on what you want to go for with that and what you're trying to achieve, but that has a lot of uses to create some creative effects with it. And then lastly we have phase, and the easiest way to think about this is actually it's causing panning, essentially. So if I'll put it on 90 and you'll kind of hear what I mean. And in fact, I'm going to put the smoothing down so we can kind of see it very clearly in here. So if we think about this green one as our left side and the blue about our right, in fact, we'll make it 180 and become even clearer. So it's on for our left, it cuts out, and then the right comes in, left, right, like so. And the rate adjusts how quickly it does that. It's taking a quarter note to get through this full cycle, so from here to here. So if I lengthen that, or you can even quicken it. It's going to sound a bit drastic, but this is a really interesting use of panning here, especially when we start introducing some smoothing to it. I'm just going to change that again. You can hear it's kind of going between left and right, not just jumping either on or off again. And again, if we change the depth on it, it'll become much more subtle. And you can use this on sounds that you want to make sound wider and just create a bit of difference going on as well. So another use of this is to actually use it alongside sidechain compression with a kick. So I've had instances before where I've had a bass or a synth like this where the sidechain compression doesn't quite agree with it. It's just not sounding very good. It's sounding far too aggressive and really harsh, even when I drop the ratio down, but then I've lost the actual ducking that I want from it. I'll use this alongside that, and it will have quite a nice effect on it. It's giving it more of a boost, but it's still quite gentle. And I'll show you how to do that. So I'm just going to put my kick on here. I'm just going to increase the depth and the smoothing, and we'll just match the rate as well and turn the phase off too. We want it to be mono essentially. So if we just have a listen, you can hear it's ducking it out straight away as soon as that kick comes in. And this is what I mentioned before about changing the offset, is that we can increase it to about 10% and it's not going to sound so drastic, really. It's kind of flowing a bit more. It sounds a bit more free and a bit more natural. You can of course make it -10 as well. Then also adjust the depth and the smoothing to adjust how gentle you want it. So we could reduce this all the way down, but change the depth, or have it a bit smoother as well. So this is like increasing the attack or release on the compressor, and this is like adjusting the ratio and the threshold. And it just gives it that nice pulsing effect. And what you can also do is you can put this onto a bus, the tremolo, and then send that to several instruments that you all want to have that same kind of pulsing sound for, and then it will add that really nice rhythmic and consistent feeling to your track. So overall I find the tremolo plugin actually really very good. It's pretty versatile. You have quite a lot of functions on it to adjust and tweak it to how you want it to be. And you can also just use it for creative purposes. Like I've got it on some of my piano lines up here just to give it a little bit of something, and then I'll add another layer to that and adjust the tremolo on that one as well, and so on and so forth. It can add a lot of depth and colour to sounds, to be honest. So I hope you found this video useful, and if you have any questions, please leave a comment or contact me via my website. Thanks a lot for watching. Cheers.